Innovation is something that I've always prided my channel on. Whether it's playing certain cards that are against the norm, that go against the grain, as long as it gives the deck a little bit of a competitive edge, or taking out cards that were once viewed as mandatory cards to place inside of the deck that are no longer great when playing at the highest level of event that the deck can be taken to. Whether I get criticism or not, whether it is the correct decision or not, I have always pushed the envelope when it comes to making decks better. You can say that I take the deck to its maximum potential, and that's exactly what we're doing with this Blue Eyes Chaos Max deck profile. It will question everything you guys have known about Blue Eyes and push the envelope further, taking it to a more competitive scene. I think that Chaos Max is a really powerful deck, but we definitely have to change how the deck is played because of its success. We haven't seen any. And there are some new cards that definitely help this strategy within the Soul Fusion set, and of course from Legendary Duelists. I think that we have to lock in on our target and use its max potential of the burst stream to stream down our opponents. Okay, that was bad. But I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, then go and destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go ahead and hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. Also want to take the time to give a special thanks to every single one of my Patreons. Without you guys, videos like this would not be possible. I also want to give a special shout out to our newest Patreon, Garrett Nelson. Welcome to the top dogs, my man. I hope you enjoy your stay here. I say it like you're gonna leave here somewhere, but I hope you love being here. It's so many awesome words you can take advantage of. Without further ado, I present to you a competitive Blue Eyes Chaos Max deck profile for this format, and yes, it has gotten so much better as long as we change our perspective of the previous builds and put new builds or new thoughts forward. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we take this deck to the max, I want to show you guys some of these stats. Blue Eyes Chaos Max builds are very powerful. Putting out a 4,000 attack monster that can swing for game under the right opportunities is pretty good, but I think that this deck is most suited for a local level event, but I wouldn't be surprised if it topped a regionals. Why? Because the deck, again, can finish turns really fast, and even if it doesn't, it makes an untargetable, indestructible 4,000 or 3,000 attack monster that's kind of hard to deal with today's meta, especially if you have the checks and balances to the easy outs. Let's start off with the monsters so you guys can get better acclimated to why I play certain cards and why this deck operates so well, as you guys have seen in the live duel. Alright, so let's start off with the monsters. I know I'm going to rustle some jimmies with this build, but as Blue Eyes players, you guys have to evolve. You can't just start playing or keep playing the exact same cards and expect different results. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So this build is definitely a lot different than any Blue Eyes deck profile I've seen or I've known or even I've built, because I had to change my concept of it because I kept bashing my head upside the wall wondering why it didn't work when I was just playing really unnecessary cards. So 3 copies of Blue Eyes Chaos Max. In my opinion, this is the correct amount to play. Why? Because this deck is centered around summoning this guy. So he's a 4,000 attack monster, can't be destroyed by card effects, can't be targeted. And in today's Yu-Gi-Oh game, if you stop certain cards, he's really hard to get over. Like if you stop Borlo Dragon, there's no real easy out to this card after Borlo Dragon. So I run 3 copies of him because he's just like dummy good, and being able to summon him is powerful. And there's also an OTK aspect if you can summon any of your 2 copies of Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. Now, I only run 2 because I only decided to buy 2. And shout out to my boys at Hubbub Gaming. Without them, this deck profile would not be possible because this guy is like mandatory. That doesn't mean that you can get away, that you can't get away with playing 2. I've gotten away pretty successfully with playing 2. His ability to change all monsters to defense position or change their battle position and then change their, stats to 0/0 gives you a clear opening for Blue Eyes Max. Now, Blue Eyes Chaos Max, before you like make some nightmare combos, give them the Ibly, yada yada yada, do that, then make the Blue Eyes Chaos Max and attack into it. That was good, but A, we can't link summon in this deck. Like, link summoning is just completely out of the question for most parts of the deck. B, that was a lot of work. And C, drawing Ibly is a dead card. Chaos Dragon actually is a ritual summonable monster. So it was like, okay, this is easier. Making these 2 monsters is easier than summoning 2 monsters and then trying to linking away and doing this and doing that. It just adds so much more consistency and needed power to this deck. And on top of that, he is a 3,000 untargetable monster. So if you can't make him, you can follow up with him. And it gives you 5 to 6 ritual monsters to play with. Next is 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. I would not be running 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon if Advanced Ritual Art didn't exist. Advanced Ritual Art makes Blue Eyes White Dragon free 2 times because Chaos Form can banish it from the graveyard, and you know, obviously Advanced Ritual Art can send it to the graveyard, so that is really awesome. Other than that, that's it. Like, I play it because Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon gains an ability, if I remember correctly. He gains, like, I think that's how you gain his piercing ability. This card was, yeah, that's how you gain its ability, using Blue Eyes White Dragon. Had to make sure, didn't want to make a mistake. And that's really the only reason why I play it, ladies and gentlemen, is because of that, and you know, it's ease of access, it's an Advanced Ritual Art target. Next is 3 copies of Zaborg, the Mega Monarch, and I'm going to be able to explain why I don't run certain cards, because this is it for high-level monsters. Any monster, like level 8 and higher, that's it. I don't play alternative, and I'll be able to explain that later. But this guy is nasty. Going first, he is a win condition. If your opponent, like if you go against Danger Dark World and you summon this guy, you know they don't have hand traps, so you're going to win. Like, you hit the Firewall Dragon and then they scoop from there. It's a complete win condition, because not only do you get to hit that card, but you also get to hit cards like Herald of Perfection or Herald of Arclight and then gain your ritual cards to your hand. But to be honest with you guys, if you summon this against Danger Dark World FTK, they're going, like, it's nothing they can do. Like, you hit the Firewall and you win. That's it. It's like it's a win condition on its own. Against other decks, it's still extremely powerful because they have to hit this card. Even if you're not hitting cards in their extra deck, a deck that doesn't play, like, let's say if we're going against the Mirror Match, even if you're not hitting cards in their extra deck, you can turn around and you can hit all of your Arclights and your Elder Entity Intis and get so much advantage off of that card. Now, the reason why I don't play Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, I'm not saying it's a bad card. In this particular build, I focus on one thing, and that's bringing out Blue Eyes Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. Alternative does nothing for me in terms of bringing it out. I don't play Sage because, again, that does nothing for blinking out Chaos Max. That's pretty decent for the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile, but this is a Chaos Max. We just want to ritual summon. We don't care about anything else. I mean, to be honest with you, Alternative never did anything anyways for this particular deck other than putting another monster on the field. I can do that with ritual summoning. Next is 3 copies of Manju of 10,000 hands. Searches ritual monsters, probably the only normal summon in the deck. That's pretty much it for that guy. 2 copies of Incantation Candle, and 2 copies of Incantation Talismandra. Let me just put the Talismandra right here. This is really important to the deck. The thing that I hate about it is that you can't use them for link summons, or, you know, playing Ibli would have been a lot easier because you just summon these, link into Cerberus or Phoenix or whatever, turn the Cerberus into a mermaid, link again into Cerberus again, and then give your opponent the Ibli and attack for game. Unfortunately, that's not how it works, but these monsters can be used for tribute summon as Zaborg, and one of them is a light monster, so you can trigger the effect of Zaborg to look through your opponent's extra deck and send cards from their deck to the graveyard, so that's really good. It also searches your ritual spell cards, so it does serve 2 purposes. It's really powerful. We follow that up with 2 copies, or 1 copy of each Incantation Pencil Plume and Incantation Bookstone. The reason why these guys are powerful is because it gives you a mid-game play. It allows you to summon those or grab those ritual cards from your graveyard to your hand, which could be important in the mid-game, but even more importantly, they are monsters that can summon themselves to the side of the field and be tribute fodder for, hell, I've summoned Blue Eyes White Dragon a couple of times, but for your Zaborg to make a Monarch. Next, for the hand traps, I do play 6. We are going to have budget options, ladies and gentlemen, so 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy of Spring. To be honest, I just put these in there because they're generic. That's it. That's literally the only reason why they are in here. You can play Effect Veilers, you can play DD Crows, you can play whatever the hell you want. There's no real significance that I put it in there other than them being generic. I might even take them out for Ghost Reapers, or I'm sorry, for Effect Veilers anyways. 3 copies of Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. I think that this card is mandatory in this deck, mainly because if you go second, you can hit Firewall Dragon and prevent yourself from being FTK. And you can hit like cards like Borlo Dragon without Zaborg the Mega Monarch. You can hit those problematic cards that can have an out to your Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon and still be in the game. I think that it's really important for that deck because there's so many extra deck outs to Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. If your opponents just happen to start playing Utopia Lightning, just slam it into your extra deck and then Ghost Reapers and Winter Cherries them. That's it for the monsters at 28. I believe it's 26 monsters. Now I can show you guys some spell cards. We get pretty saucy with the spells. For the spells, 3 copies of Melody of the Dragon Awakening. This card's still really powerful because it can add Blue Eyes White Dragon. It can add either of your Chaos monsters from your deck to your hand. I hate being Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, which made me strongly consider playing the Cyframe Gear Gamma engine, which isn't bad. All you have to do is maybe drop a Manju and 3 Ash Blossoms. You can play that if you wanted to. But it's just really good at getting your important cards. 3 copies of Chaos Form. It can banish Blue Eyes from the graveyard. Like that was the reason why I played 3. And plus I played Desires. Desires is really powerful in this deck. And you know, it fits so well. It gets you advantage, gets you exactly what you need. But Chaos Form is just nasty good because it's the ritual card that you need. There's really nothing else to say about him. Only 2 copies of Advanced Ritual Art. I don't think you'll ever be able to resolve 3 in the game. I don't think I would ever want to see 3 in one hand. Saying 2 in my hand is okay, especially if I can send Blue Eyes, you know, Blue Eyes White Dragon. But basically this 2 ritual monsters, and this is basically, you're going to get them, you don't need the fodder, you just send the Blue Eyes to the graveyard, then you can Chaos Form the Blue Eyes to summon your other monster. Really powerful card. It gives uses for Blue Eyes White Dragon, other than it just being a brick inside of my deck. Only 2 copies of Bingo Machine Go, another card that I got from my guys at Hubbub Gaming, and you know, without it, I probably would have never been playing this deck. Now, there are budget options for this card. I know it's like a $30, $40 card, which is insane, but it's really, really powerful. If you guys can get your hands on this card, it's just it's a consistency card. It allows you to play, you know, it allows you to get your consistency pieces before you go into Desires. It allows you to get everything that you need. Now, for people that can't afford this card, I would strongly suggest playing a 3rd Desires and a 3rd Extra Foolish Burial, because that'll add to your consistency as well. We do play that Extra Foolish Burial, only 2 copies. Half of your life points never felt so better because you can send your Herald of Arclights, you can send your Elder Entity Intis to destroy cards, and life points don't really mean anything to this deck because you want to finish the game off as fast as possible, and this particular build is going to give you one of the better opportunities. 2 copies of Pot of Desires. I wanted to run 3 because seeing it is important. I've used this analogy maybe for 2.5 years. Pot of Desires is that girl that you want to see in the club, or probably the girl you just want to smash and dash. You want to see her once and then never again, especially if she starts coming out with a little TheCaliEffect Jr., then you never want to see her again. But you have to, so you get married, you have another kid, and then you quit your job and wind up doing YouTube. Next is 2 copies of Call by the Grave. This card is really good. I mean, I really shouldn't have to explain this card, but it's great at stopping hand traps. So when your opponent's trying to hit your Desires, hit your Melodies, all that other stuff, you Call by the Grave and keep pushing. That is it for the spells. Extra deck wise, we get really simple. Again, we don't run Sages, we don't run alternatives, so we don't really run any rank 8s. We don't run the Blue Eye Synchro. The only synchros we run are 3 copies of Herald of Arclight. Insane for your Zaborg fodder. Great for Extra Foolish Burial. It allows you to get a ritual monster or a ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. And then the Cypher Lord Omega. It sucks that this card's at 1 now because sending him to the graveyard allows you to shuffle cards into your deck to get more searches. You can actually shuffle a Blue Eyes White Dragon into your deck if you have a dead Advanced Ritual Art, and then, you know, do your thing with Advanced Ritual Art. 3 copies of Elder Entity Intis. This card is stupid good. A lot of people don't notice. When it's into the graveyard, you can destroy a card on the field. So if you summon Zaborg, you'll be able to destroy 3 cards, search 3 cards, recycle the card, and then send cards from your opponent's extra deck. That's kind of nasty. I just wanted to put that out there, that's really nasty to be able to do that. It's almost a game winner if you can resolve all 7 of those effects. Borlo Dragon is a Winter Cherries target. The rest of the cards are just Winter Cherries target. Gunblard Dragon, Winter Cherries target, so I can't be Gunblard. Firewall Dragon, Winter Cherries target. I think that these 3 cards are cards that you have to play inside of the extra deck because you don't want to be Gunblard, you don't want to be Borloaded, and you don't want to be FTK. So you have to find a way to get 3 copies of each of those. Summon Sork, Sky Striker, Ace Kagari. I think that's a mandatory card because Sky Strikers are still pretty relevant. Number 90, Galaxy Eyes Photon, Full Armor, and Cypher Blade. Now, the reason why I run these 3 cards is because in the event that I have to make a rank 8, I'd rather make one of the best rank 8s in the game that gives me monster negations, and then overlay them into 2 cards that can give me 2 destructions. So that's pretty much it for the main board and the extra deck. Let me show you guys a couple of combos. There isn't much, but it's still something that you guys can hang with. You know what I mean? Probably the FTK or the OTK strategy that the deck does have. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a new setup, which is why you guys are seeing my hands in a different place. I'm pretty sure you guys didn't really care about the hand placement, but it's going to be a little different. This combo is going to be a little harder to do now that I think about it. It's going to require a 3-card combo, and the only reason why I'm saying harder is just thinking about the placement, but I'm going to go ahead and use this as my spells and traps, and these are my monsters. So the 3-card combo, actually I could probably just play it regular and then flip the video upside down. That makes sense. So the combo is going to require Chaos Form, or any two incantation monsters to resolve, and Zaborg the Mega Monarch. So what you are going to do is activate your incantation monster using whatever ritual spell or ritual monster you have to resolve, special summoning the incantation monster to your side of the field, and then special summoning another incantation monster to your side of the field. Now, in this case, I'm using incantation Candle, so Talismandra is summoned, and I'm actually allowed to add a Blue Eyes ritual or a ritual monster from my deck to my hand. That is irrelevant because I'm going to tribute both of these monsters to the graveyard for the summon of Zaborg the Mega Monarch, using his effect to target himself, destroy himself. And since I tributed a light monster in the process, I get to look at my opponent's extra deck and select 8 cards from their extra deck and send to the graveyard. I also get to have to send 8 cards from my extra deck to the graveyard. So I'm going to go ahead and send these 8 cards. And I really don't have an 8th card. I was going to play like that Neo Blue Eyes fusion monster that prevents my monster from being targeted or whatever, but my Chaos Max monsters can't be targeted anyway, so it was like, I didn't really need it. So I'm going to go ahead and send these 8 monsters from my deck to the graveyard. This is going to actually allow me to add 3 ritual monsters from my, or ritual monsters or spells from my deck to my hand. So YuGiOh and, well, where's the second Yu? Hold on. YuGiOh, and I can literally the other card is just free. And then I can also destroy 3 cards from my opponent's side of the field. Furthermore, I can activate the effect of Cypherm Lord Omega, shuffling it and the Herald or whatever to my deck so I can use it for later use in case of another Zaborg or an extra Foolish Burial, yada, yada, yada. From there, you can actually go ahead and summon both of your monsters to your side of the field. All you have to do is activate your Advanced Ritual Art, sending your Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your graveyard to summon the Chaos Max, or the Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, and then the Chaos Form to banish the Blue Eyes White Dragon to summon your Chaos Max Dragon on the field. Ironically enough, I'm going to show you guys the exact same thing. The combo can be done without all that riffraff. You're going to need 4 cards in your hand, and don't get it wrong, guys. While this 4 cards may look very specific, it's really easy to gain them into your hand, mainly since these 2 cards can be searched by Melody of the Dragon Awakening, and it's essentially the exact same thing I just showed you. Advanced Ritual Art, send Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your graveyard to summon your Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, and then Chaos Form, banishing the Blue Eyes White Dragon to summon Chaos Max Dragon. And this right here is the OTK that you guys are looking for, because Blue Eyes Chaos Max, or Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, will switch your opponent's monsters to defense if applicable, and then change their defense to 0. Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon will inflict the damage that you need for GG No Re. Now, the third combo I want to show you guys is either Incantation Bookstone or Pencil Plume in your hand, and then the appropriate card in your hand to resolve its effects. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to go ahead and put Blue Eyes Chaos Max in the graveyard. I'm going to put Chaos Form in my hand. So we're just going to say Bookstone, Chaos Form, and Chaos Max in the graveyard. What you're going to do is use your Bookstone's effect, revealing your Chaos Form to special summon itself, and then it's going to special summon your Incantation Pencil Plume. Pencil Plume's going to add your Chaos Max Dragon, and then you're going to activate Chaos Form, tributing both of these monsters for a Chaos Max Dragon. So essentially, you got Chaos Max Dragon to your side of the field for 2 cards. This deck is really good at being able to ritual summon to its side of the field and disrupt the opponent. I think that it's a very solid deck, and it's something you guys should invest in if you love the Blue Eyes Chaos Max strategy. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm pretty sure we took it to the max when it comes to making a competitive Blue Eyes Chaos Max deck profile. And if you didn't like it, go ahead and let us know down below in the description, or down below in the comment section, what we could do to be better. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.